when you mention the LDS, theologians dealing with revelation claims, just remind for the audience which texts specifically fall under the category of inspired or revealed scriptures for the Mormons.
So for Latter-day Saints, the Bible is considered inspired and authoritative scripture insofar as it is translated correctly, which in an LDS context, translate really includes the whole transmission process, scribal copying and so forth. And Joseph Smith claimed that there were many plain and precious things removed from the Bible. He did a translation of the Bible called the Inspired or the Joseph Smith translation, in which he took a King James version and in various places he corrected or clarified things as he saw fit, sometimes added expansions. The LDS Church, headquartered in Salt Lake City, has never canonized that as their official scriptures, but they do print portions of it in copies of the Bible that they publish.
Okay.
In addition, the LDS movement's popular name Mormonism comes from the Book of Mormon, which Joseph Smith claimed to have translated by the gift and power of God from some gold plates that had been deposited in a hill by an ancient general named Moroni, who appeared to him as an angel. And you can read about the stories on that elsewhere. But the Book of Mormon, which is known as their keystone scripture, that starts off the restoration of true Christianity, because they believe that true Christianity went apostate in the early centuries by the process of plain and precious things being removed from the Bible, the introduction of beliefs and doctrines of men, the baneful influence of Greek philosophy, and so on. And then in addition, you have a number of revelations that Joseph Smith gave to his followers, collected in a work called the Doctrine and Covenants. The Doctrine and Covenants has a number of what they divide up as sections by number. The vast majority of these are written by Joseph Smith, though there are a couple at the very end by his successors.
Okay.
And then the third thing is called the Pearl of Great Price. And the Pearl of Great Price has a history of Joseph Smith's life and his early life and the visitations he claims to have had by angels and eventually by God the Father and God the Son. It includes two very interesting retellings and expansions of the Genesis creation account. One done a little earlier in his career called the Book of Moses, and then another one a little bit later called the Book of Abraham, which he claimed to translate from some Egyptian papyri that he purchased along with some mummies when they were in Kirtland, Ohio. So those would be what are called the LDS standard works: the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, the Pearl of Great Price.
Okay, and I do think,
should also add.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to add that, of course, they also believe that contemporary prophets can give revelation, and there is the expectation that there will be many more written works recovered and given to the church.
Okay, so there is a sense of ongoing prophecy. Okay.
So one of the interesting things about the Book of Mormon, and this is something that I actually engage with missionaries when they come to my door, and I first noticed it when I was taking a group to Temple Square. There are at least 7 times in the Book of Mormon where this kind of phrasing comes up. I'm just going to quote from, say, 2 Nephi 27. Verse 23, where it says, "Behold, I am God, and I am the God of miracles, and I will show unto the world that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever." And that phrase, "He is the God who is the same yesterday, today, and forever," seems to be a favorite among Mormon missionaries and others. It appears 7 times just in the Book of Mormon by itself. So when we start talking about the ontology of God, this is something that I've started pulling, the thread that I've started pulling on from the missionaries, because I start to say, wait a minute, if I understand Mormon theology correctly, God was, using the Lorenzo Snow couplet, right? As we are now, God once was, as God is now, we may become. I said, it strikes me that if God was once with all the attributes and makeup as us, then how can he claim to be the same yesterday, today, and forever? Because I wouldn't worship you, you wouldn't worship me. We're not God, but there seems to be a distinction here in what we worship God. So there's something that's changed, right? There's something that's different. Yet the Book of Mormon claims that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so there's this tension here that I think that it plays into our question of who is God and how do we understand him.